Just give us a wave when it's done, yeah? Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention? Today we learned the sad news that Antonio Corinho, son of the founder of Billiards Carrinho, has recently passed away. Under Mr. Corinho's leadership, the company founded in 1962 grew to become one of Europe's leading manufacturers of pool tables. Today, Billiards Carrinho is a valued part of the Predator Group, and Antonio's contribution to our sport and industry spanned many decades. In recognition of his legacy and the impact he had on billiards throughout Europe, we would like to pay our respects. Please join us in observing a moment's silence in memory of Antonio Carrinho. Thank you very much for your time and appreciation.
Hello, pool fans, and hope you are locked in and ready for some world-class pool.
And it's in. What a performance.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have witnessed some absolute thrilling matches so far.
And it's in. What a performance.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have witnessed some absolute thrilling matches so far.
And in it goes. He is your champion. Celebration, so are Victor Zelensky.
Finest players in the world.
Oh, he makes it. Nicely on the 10.
Jasmine Ocean.
Yes, thank you, Luke Riches. A very touching gesture and a warm welcome, viewers and pool fans, to Pro Billiard TV and the 2026 Pro Billiard Series, coming live from deep in the Austrian Alps at the picturesque Hotel Alpina Alpendorf. You join us halfway through day 4, and it's a matchup in the Billiards Carrinho Women's Open. And what a prospect we have in front of us. It's a winner's qualification match, this, for a place in the last 16 and, more importantly, in the money. It's Jasmine Ushan from Austria, one of the top players currently, taking on from China Zhang Fangfu. And, well, they've both been playing very strong to get to this stage, both coming through tough opponents. This is a 10-ball race to 4 best of 3 sets. We have the shot clock in play, winner breaks format, and no early 10s. I'll be flying solo on this one with you. My name is Gethin Davis. And we have had some great matches over here on table 2 so far. We're only halfway. Well, this one also live up to the hype. Jasmine has taken the lag and will get the break. Breaking from the side. Very solid hit. Good spread of the balls and a good control of the cue ball, but Fu out of her chair. No real offensive option. So Fu just looking to put Jasmine in trouble early on in this opening rack. She caught that wrong, but may have got a reward. She just meant to catch that one ball on the way down the table, but caught the rail first. That's down to the awkward cueing that she had. And I don't think that cue ball has come up far enough, so fully expect, if the potting angle's on here, for Jasmine to take this on and float the cue ball back across the table for the 2 in the same pocket. We saw in our last match over on table 1 a contrast between one player just not getting the break working and the other getting it working. It is important, especially in these winner breaks race to 4 format per set, but not necessarily a match loser if your break isn't working. However, Jasmine back to the table after her dry break, and really with a good look now at this layout. Well, intentional or not, I don't think it was, as the hand was raised. Plays it off the 10 into the corner pocket. It's done no harm. And let us not forget, Jasmine on home soil. I've been having the pleasure of seeing her in a couple of the Pro Billiard Series interviews on the social media site. She's looking very comfortable out there. And she said she really loves the location. It's very picturesque, very Sound of Music looking. And very relaxing environment for the players off the table. Just taking a bit of time over this. That 7-ball hampering the easy option for the 6. She's come underneath. Very good cue ball, judge of pace. And that now really is that potential problem overcome. And it's a little bit more straightforward for the Austrian here. Had the option of just dropping that 7 in, taking the longer 8, confidently playing in off the short rail. Now just needs to check how far she would want to draw back for the 9. And this very solid stuff from Jasmine in this opening rack. Fu not really having an opportunity to attack, and with difficult cueing, wasn't able to make the best safe. Jasmine jumping on it. Yes, solid stuff from Jasmine. That gets her off the mark in this race to 4 opening set. We have all 8 winners' qualification matches underway in the arena. I'll give you some highlights of the scores as they're coming in. Savannah Easton, the Roadrunner, taking on Chihiro Kawahara. Che Yu Chao taking on her fellow country lady, Xiaoqing Chang. And Maria Teresa Raperas Garcia. She's got a tough encounter against Tu Chin Wei, and that's the first half of the draw. I'll bring you the second half shortly, but if you want to go and check it for yourself and the other 2 events underway here in Austria, please do visit probilliardseries.com, and you'll get links to the full schedules, live results, and also you'll get an insight clicking on our live stats button. You'll see them popping up every now and again during the match, but you can get them live for both our TV table 1 and 2. Thank you to our colleague Michael Salmon. So Jasmine with a second break. No reward from her first. Continuing from the side. It looked like the one was heading towards or tracking towards the right side pocket. Took a deflection, then threatened the top right, but again, dry break. However, on this occasion, Fu has a very good look at the 1, and I believe the 2 has a pathway through the 6 and 7, so good opportunity for her to strike back here. See a few people in the background. It is free to come and spectate here and get up close with the players. If you are in the area and you would like to come up and watch live in the flesh, please do. No real issues out there for Fu. The table really did open up from Jasmine's break, just sadly nothing dropping. Good solid pot. Drawing, stroke punching that cue ball off the long rail to ensure she got out far enough to be able to take this 4-ball into the side pocket with the 8 hampering it. Just needs to be a bit particular. It looks slightly high of the side pocket, maybe running towards the 8. Oh, she's thinned it well enough to avoid the 8. That was a very well judged shot. Could have been a bit of drama if she took a piece of that 8 ball. Still in prime position. Fu beat the American Kennedy Mayman on her way to this winners qualification match. She's come the direct route. This is still double elimination. So the loser of this will jump over to the losers qualification bracket to come a slightly longer route. But that won't be in either of these players' minds right now. Their eyes will be on securing their place. Fu's done very well here. Got herself out of trouble with a very good, powerful shot, and has looked very comfortable amongst the balls in open play. And that would indicate that we are in for an absolute barnstormer of a match. It will be down to who makes the first mistake. Will that mistake come from the break or not? So far, 2 dry breaks, and the score locked at 1 apiece, and we will get the opportunity now to see how Fu has been breaking in the event and see if she's worked out something that suits her style of play. The second half of the draw in this winners qualification matchup. And Christina Tkach is taking on Han Yu from China. Chahua Chen is a tough match with Kelly Fisher. And So Soa is taking on Wanling Wang. And there is the last match that was just hiding. Zhang Muyan taking on the German Pia Filler. Big names out there in the arena right now. All looking to go deep in this tournament. I'll start bringing you some info on the prize pot for these ladies. It is impressive. Let's get to have a look at Fu's break. Slightly more inside towards the center than her opponent. Well, success from the break. The 1 ball did look like it was going to get knocked in by the cue ball. However, it has now finished in a very tricky predicament where you would expect Fu just to come off the edge of it and get distance, but that 4 ball may be spoiling the party somewhat. And Xiao Fang does have the opportunity to play the push. But if she were to play the push, it would give Jasmine the opportunity to take on the shot that remains. So Fu looks to have pushed it to a position where maybe there is an edge of that 1 ball. Maybe there's the opportunity to play it off the short rail with some right-hand side to take the pot on. It looks quite tight though for Jasmine. She played the rail first shot, successful, and well, unless she's forced to run towards traffic, she should and could be able to hold this cue ball for the 3 off this 2. She has done, and kept the cue ball short of bringing the 9 ball in to hamper her cueing. Now really, it's 4 to 5 that needs to be given some consideration. Jasmine does like to pick them shots off into the long rail, bringing the cue ball back out center table. It's a very good mainstay of her arsenal. Now she does have choices here. She can bring the cue ball back down towards herself, or she can try and bring it around the 10 ball. I think that's a bit too risky. Yeah, clearly was worried about running into the 9, so just put a little bit of check side on that, which increased the difficulty of the shot, held it very well. As you can see, the 8, 9 and 10 up at the top of the table. You feel good shape on the 7 now, and Jasmine best positioned to get back out in the lead in this opening set. Using up all the time to full effect, and now picking off this 8, 9, 10 pattern. And well, as I alluded to during the second rack, it really does look like both these ladies are going to run out at any opportunity, so their safety play is going to need to be that bit tighter, and it may come down to who gets rewarded or not from the break, and that just goes to show the quality of these two. However, did I speak too soon? Perhaps I did, but that's not a bad recovery at all. Brings Fu back to the table though. Jasmine will be returning to her chair slightly disappointed. Fully expected her to close that out. I'm sure she did too. Now can Fu just turn this over and get the advantage back? If she feels the safety isn't there, she could certainly go offensive, but that 10 ball does look quite appetizing. That's what she's aimed for. She's compromised a little bit of pace on the 9 to try and get that cue ball as close to the 10 as possible, which meant the 9 has come back off that short rail. This is more than a tempter for Johann here. Now how's that cue ball? Not too bad. Fu sat in a chair shaking her head when she returned from that. I don't think she should be disappointed. It was a tough play to get that cue ball behind the 10, I think she was just a little bit more disappointed at how far up that 9 ball had come. This is where the fine margins in the safety game may come down to the result in this match. And a little whip of the head from Jasmine. She'll be happy to put that on the board. Maybe a little bit unhappy that she didn't do it quicker than anticipated, or rather than resulted. As we take a look at our referee there, Petrovis Gintares, Ginny. Let's have a little look at what's happening over on our other tables. We do have on table 1 the matchup between Christina Kach and Han Yu. And that looks like it's very much underway. Christina taking a 2-1 lead against Han Yu in that match. And over on table 3, Zhang Muyan is up against the German Pia Filler. And it looks like Zhang has taken a 3-0 lead in that opening set. In fact, we can have a little look at Christina to catch and Han Yu in action. The arena looking fantastic. Starlit backdrop. Jasmine Ushan now to break in this opening set, leading 2-1. Wow. Yet again, a dry break brings Fu back to the table. I believe that's still 0% on the break success. I will definitely have a little look very shortly just to confirm that. And it would indicate that Fu has had 100% success with regards to making a ball on the break. Now, what can she develop from this position? The 3-5 look tricky. That cue ball just has run up enough to contemplate taking on this cut. And thank you, stat team. Yeah, Zhao Fang, 100% success rate. Jasmine yet to get off, or rather get a ball down off the break. This is a thin cut to take on. Cheated the pocket a little bit, and that's unfortunate on the result she's been left with. She felt the aggressive, offensive option was on, and she did make a great pot on the 2. Now, can she play a kick and stick on this 3 ball? And bring the 3 ball around 2 rails underneath the 9. It's a difficult shot to pull off, but that might be her only option here. Well, she didn't get it up behind the 9, but it was certainly tracking in that direction. The 8 seems to have come in to play. So that's really a good result from that position for Fu. Now, the potting angle on the 3, if it's on past the 6, would mean that Jasmine only has to jump over the edge. I say only has to jump over the edge of the 8, but that just makes it a shade easier. More importantly, may just bring it into her remit to want to go on the offense. And I think that's what she's taken. Did she call the 6? She called it clean, potted it clean, and has just fallen foul of the 4. Oh, maybe she didn't call that. Well, she didn't call the pot. That's why Fu got out of her chair to come and survey what was left, because it would have been Well, it is her option to take the shot on or not. She hasn't. Given it back to Jasmine. Interesting. I'll say that's the 4 she called into the bottom right. She's missed it. Not by much. Has she pushed that 6 into a position next to the 7 where it's not on? It looks like there's enough of a gap. Ooh. I am not fully convinced, ladies and gentlemen. While we look at that, the clock's still ticking for Johann. So she's back to have another look while the clock is looking a bit healthier. She does have a very nice line on this 5. If she doesn't feel it's on, she could look to deep draw. Okay, we'll have a look at this. Well, it looked kind of close. Both players happy. Now, a lot of work to do if she wants to come underneath the 8 to take it on for the side pocket. So we'll probably look to try and avoid that 9 and just come back across the table as she's done very nicely. And Fu looking at bringing this scoreline back to level. And some very good run-outs from both ladies so far. This to add to the pack. Nicely done. This for 2-2 and to keep the break. Johann Fu puts that 10 away very nicely. And that keeps her in this set very healthily. And as you look at the balls pocketed, not much to put between them. I mentioned these ladies now looking to make it into the last 16, making it into the money. Well, there's 64 players to start with, and what a booty. $90,000 up for grabs. And this is remarkable, $27,000 for first prize. And just making it into the last 16 guarantees you $1,970. Big thank you to Predator and our sponsors and Pro Billiard Series. Valara's Corinho as well. It's brought the best players to Austria, and the hills are alive. Johann Fu to break, 2-2. Probably getting the better of the breaks and maybe feeling a bit more confident in this position. The 9 made its way through a couple of other moving balls. They seem to part for the 9 to make it into the top left corner. This one ball could very well pass the 4 into the top right corner. And if so, position on the 2 could see Fu just look to push on and take the lead here. potted it cleanly, was not expecting to run into trouble. Did. And well, she's left with an opportunity to play safe, but as you can see at the top of the table, all of the balls have run over towards the rail. That makes getting cover very, very difficult. So maybe looking just to put the two on the center of that short rail. Oh, I like what she tried to do there, bringing the 2 ball back up towards the 3. Was looking for either cover with the cue ball locked on the 10, but at least the 5. That hasn't worked out, and this is an opportunity for Jasmine. Both players have not been getting many. Yeah, both players have not been getting many, and so far they've been able to capitalize on this occasion. That was just a bit too tricky for Jasmine. She played it at the speed where it gave the pocket every chance of accepting it. But now we're back to Fu. Stayed on that shot there. Not too sure if she was expecting to run into the 4 or not. She didn't. This is a good angle. Oh, used all the pocket at that pace. That's worked out very well. Back down this side of the table, bottom of the table for the 5. And Fu really does look in gear. Just heard a little chair squeak during Fu's backswing there. I was so worried it was going to affect how she played the shot. Completely in the zone, didn't affect her at all. And it's quite natural now to come up for the 7. Both players looking like they're not going to give the other an inch. Yes, that will be down as a Jasmine miss, but what the statistics won't reflect was that that was a mighty tough shot to come out of your chair to. And now, this 8 ball to float the cue ball down to this 10. Does not want that cue ball to misbehave. Doesn't want that cue ball to misbehave. Oh my. Well, Jasmine out of her chair, probably a bit shocked to be. Although where she was sat, she would have seen the track of that cue ball as soon as it left the long rail. Unfortunate, but still, that gets her on the hill and gets her to the table with the break. So that would be a very big swing for Fu there, and a misjudgment, and well, that might be a sore one for her if Jasmine pushes on here in this 6th rack. Let's have a quick look out on the other tables. Savannah Easton is locked at 2 apiece with Chihiro Kawahara, and Cheyu Chao is 2-1 up in the opening set against Xiuqing Chang, and It looks like Chu Chin Wei is 3-0 up in the opening set against the Spaniard Maria Teresa Rapero Garcia. You'll find links to the scores on the Pro Billiard TV page. Now, Jasmine has moved over to the other side. Will this bring more fortune? Would be a time to do it. No, no, no. She cannot buy a ball off the break as of yet. Fu out of a chair. She needs to win this rack to take it to a decider in this opening set. Has a good look at the one. The 3-6-10 cluster. Well, there may be a 6-3 combination on there as a bit of a backup. And she's played that deliberately for this angle on the 2 into the side pocket. Oh, she's been daring. She's run into them. Purposefully played for this position to go into them. Left a little bit to Lady Luck, but she's turned out rather nice from this, and what an angle to come back up for the 4. She has got an angle on this 4 for natural for the 5. Maybe a little consideration on that 7 into the side pocket to consider, but aside of that little mishap with the scratch in the last rack, Fu and Jasmine both looking very, very dangerous in open play. This is top class stuff from both of them right now. And that's not said with any surprise. When I saw these two match up, I was very excited at the prospect. I actually thought it would be over on table 1. I'm very excited that I've got to join you for this one. Now, this is the only real gotcha I can see here. Wants to finish low, so can just play this natural. Doesn't want to do too much. These side pockets, well, from this angle, looks like it's a lot healthier. Played it nice. Really like to put that scratch in the last rack behind her. And you have to say, with the break success rates at the moment, you'd have Fu down as favourite for the decider in this opening set hill-hill, but the 10 needs to drop first. And you can never count Jasmine Ushan out at any point in a match. And this time, no unexpected errors. Xiaofang Fu gets us to a hill-hill decider in the opening set. I said at the beginning, ladies and gentlemen, what a prospect we have in front of us, and it's really living up to my expectations. Hopefully it's living up to yours as well. Let's have a little look at the second half of the winners' qualification matches underway at the moment. Ooh. Christina to catch over on table 1 at 3-3 with Han Yu from China. That one is looking as tasty as this one. Over on table 14, Chao Hua Chen. She's taken the opening set against Kelly Fisher. And So Soa is 2-2 with Wanling Wang in their opening set. And Zhang Muyan did take the opening set against Pia Filler. And also is leading 1-0 in their second set. So Pia looking to dig deep here in Austria. I did mention there is still winners qualification and double elimination. The loser will move over to the losers qualification. Slightly longer route to the last 16. Xiao Fan Fu breaking 3-3, Hill, opening set. The blue two, that will do. Good power on the break. There seemed to be some awkward collisions quite shortly after contact, and I was fearing the worst, but that 2 has tracked into the corner pocket. Good shape on the 1. 3 looks like it could pass the 6. Not too sure what Fu's got to work with here, but whoa, if she can keep Jasmine in her chair here, this would be a real top job. Oh, what power. Generated great power to bring that cue ball back up center table. The 3 does pass. Is she thick enough to be able to cinch this and hold for the 4 and not worry about that 9 ball? Or does she have to come across the table? She's gone for the cinch. She's played it a bit thicker as well to use, rather to cheat the pocket. And from that angle, it's brave to try and cheat the pockets. Clearly feeling in tune. Now, may look to bring the cue ball over towards the 8 here, rather than look for any danger for the 5 in the top right. Shot clock was ticking, but that's perfect. What composure. Both these ladies very well experienced on the occasion, but still, it's still the occasion. Now, 6-7, does not want to have to bring that 8 into play. Where her cue is, there is the line. She wants to bring that cue ball. Long rail, top left long rail, bottom right long rail. I said what a time to keep Jasmine in her chair. This, I'm prepared to be corrected, would be the first break and run. What timing. To finish as straight as possible for this 8 into the side pocket. Probably wanting to follow the cue ball through here, just let the energy of the cue ball do the work. Any angle high on the 9 preferred. That should do. And what a turnaround in this opening set. Very few errors to pull between them. Both of them running for fun. Absolutely great to watch. This is as entertaining as it gets. Scoreline as well. Xiao Fan Fu takes the opening set in a hill decider. A little nod from Jasmine there. The girls will take a quick break. We'll bring the statistics up and I'll just have a quick look to see if there are any more first set results in while we have the break, and I'll bring some updates to you in good short time. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. If this is anything to go by, we're going to be in for a thrilling second set here. Zhao Fangfu leading 1-0 in sets to Jasmine Ushan. We'll be back very shortly. And a very warm welcome back, viewers, to the Billiards Corinho Women's Open and this exciting winners qualification matchup between Jasmine Ushan and Zhao Fangfu. Zhao taking the opening set in the Hill decider. You may have seen on the screen during the break, Christina to catch, just pipping Han Yu in their opening set in a Hill decider. So fireworks on both table 1 and table 2. I'll be flying solo in the comms box for this one. My name is Gethin Davis. Referee for this, Petrovas Gintaris. And Zhao Fangfu up to break. Getting the better of the break so far in this match. Looking to push on from that very nice turnaround in the opening set. breaking a little more from the side. Her opening break was slightly closer to the centre. Still success abound. A look on the 2. May be a consideration for a combination on the 7. Possibly better options for a defensive strategy at this stage. But we have seen her prowess on the offence. What she doesn't want to do is play safe and accidentally pot the 7. Because if it is safe, Jasmine could give the visit back to Fu. Well, look to play the safety. That hasn't worked out, I'm afraid. And this now a real opportunity, looking at the layout on the table for Jasmine. Depending on how high that 2 ball is up on the side pocket, she has the option to try and just miss this 4 ball and come back up table. Delicate little shot needed though. Delicate shot needed, and I guess it was slightly high. It looked like Jasmine was trying to cut that to thin it, the cue ball onto the long rail. Ball in hand, and this is a much better looking opportunity now for Fu. Have to go after the 3-5-6. We'll need to consider coming off the 7 up for the 8 and then back down for the 9. So there is still a couple of swerves in the path ahead, perhaps. How straight has she landed on this 5 for the side pocket? Ideally would like to just stun the cue ball to hole for the 6. May need to just force follow through here off the long rail. Depends how much angle she left herself. Not that much of an angle. And this should allow her now to play the cue ball into the long rail and into a very big area for position on the 7. Just like that, and it's going very well for the Chinese Fu here. And keeping Jasmine in her chair is no mean feat, but it is what is needed. And so far, Xiaofang is capitalizing. Now, how much angle does she have here? She looks like she has enough. Gonna need to push the cue ball through. That will work. Yeah, I'm just wondering if she's considering, because of the angle, she can't just drop this in and float off the short rail high on the 10. Maybe she needs to put a bit of a shot in this to come underneath the 10 if she wants to feel more confident. No, she did try to play it in such a way to hold for the 10 and has done that very, very nicely. And this to continue her run and take the opening rack in this second set, and really looking to put her mark now on this match. And she has done. Xiao Fanfu has taken the first in this second set. And before I go and have a look at some of the scores on the other tables in the arena, as we're just about to hit the 4 p.m. mark here in Austria at the Hotel Alpina Alpendorf. In an hour from now, we will be kicking off the men's last 32 in the Billard Beckmann Men's Open. And I've already been given the schedule for Table 1 and Table 2. On this table, Table 2, we will have an all-Austrian affair. Mad Max Lechner taking on Mario Hay, firm favourites in the country. And on Table 1, we have Joshua Filler taking on FSR. Two very, very strong games. I have to say, looking down the list at the others, they're all strong matches. But we've managed to pick 2 out. So please do set your reminder, that's an hour from now. A lot more pool between then and now though, with Xiao Fanfu to break, leading 1-0 in the second set. Jasmine is going to need to start getting some points on the board. Ooh, well, the one had a little rattle around the side pocket, refused to drop. Where that one's finished, it's not only awkward queuing over the 2, but I'm not even sure there's an edge of this one to even consider. So Jasmine may be forced into a push here. Just flicking through the stats, and currently Jasmine 0% on break success, and she still had probably the better stroke first chance of taking the opening set. Goes to show how strong she is even if the break isn't working. Xiao Fanfu sat at 80%, which is up there with some of the best in this tournament so far at this stage. Whether or not she can make that count remains to be seen. Jasmine's played the push. Ooh, that was nearly perfect. Needed to catch that 9-ball thick, and because it didn't, that may have leaked an edge, and an edge might be all Jasmine needs to take this one on. She could play short rail first and look to freeze the cue ball, even track the cue ball towards the 6. But I fancy if there is an edge there, Jasmine could look to go on the offense. She was able to play it, and clearly, because she didn't feel staying high on the 2 was possible, that's what took the consideration there. If anything, cue ball just falling short of the position she was probably aiming for. However, 2 options here. She could play to drop this in the side pocket, knowing that if it rattles, there's a big 3 and 4 in the way. May just look to play safe straight away. Safe straight away, making sure there's nothing being left to chance. With only the 4 in the way, we may see Fu jump here. Doesn't have the pocket where the 7 is, blocking it. That would be the natural one to go for in an offensive position. Fu may just look to try and play this in between the 9 and the 7 to bring back up the table. She played it into the 6, nearly made the 2 in the top right corner. Well, that's given the opportunity back to Jasmine. She's having a good look at that 3 ball. If she's looking to bring it across towards the 7 and find that window, she needs to be so precise. Oh, that's what she's played for. Wow. That will work very nicely. That was the only position she could find to get on this 3. Now, I think she will not be able to make contact with the 4 here, so may be able to push it around the 10 ball 2 rails for the 4 in the same pocket. How much pace has it got? Is it going to slow down in time? Ooh, Jasmine, what are you telling us? Let's have a look. She's not giving anything away. If she has left this shot on, it's very natural just to hold the cue ball for the 5. Even if she just needed to turn that cue ball ever so slightly. No, it wasn't on at all. And she's played a very nice shot there. Has given Fu a look at the 4, but good distance. That was a very delicate attempt. Needed to avoid the 10 with the 4. Wasn't to be. Looks like Jasmine is playing that 4 up towards around the 5 maybe. Yeah, just like that. And that should work, or has it? Dare I say, from Jasmine's reaction, there is a window. Small margins at this level can make very big differences. Yeah, not very clean at all either on her second attempt at a full length safety attempt. Jasmine taking this 4 on side pocket. Table nice and open. Just needs a bit of action off this second rail. She's got it. And this now, a good opportunity. A little wry smile from Jasmine there. I mean, the angle is just slightly more obtuse than she was hoping for. May force her now to come in and out of bulk. That may bring, shouldn't, but may bring the 10 into play. Certainly not. And in the scheme of the match, this is a very important rack. Well, they're all becoming important, you could arguably say. But this will be very useful for Jasmine. Yeah, she's just having a look at where she wants to put the cue ball. I think if she was to try and run through, maybe a little bit of an edge of the 9 to collect. No, she was able to avoid that. Just appears that position isn't going fully her way, or at least that's what she's indicating. She should be able to force this into the long rail and back out. Anything around mid-table will be a cut she can take onto the 9. Was able to follow it through and avoid the 10. That will work even better. That will work very nicely for the Austrian on home soil. Jasmine Ushan gets the scoreline back to 1 apiece in a must-win second set for her. And we'll have a quick look at the scores on the other tables. We'll start from the bottom this time. Well, after Zhang Muyan opened up winning the first set against Pia Filler, Pia Filler now is at 3-2 in the lead in that second set. So Soa has taken the opening set against Wanling Wang and the opening rack of the second. And after the opening set win of Chiahua Chen against Kelly Fisher, they now find themselves at 2-2 in the second set there. And Christina Tkach and Han Yu are back in action over on our other TV table, table 1. And they're locked at 1 apiece in the second set after Christina Tkach took the opener in a hill-hill decider, as you can see at the bottom of the screen there. Han Yu at the table. She beat Bojana Sarak 2-0 to get to this position. Christina having a very tough match on the TV table against Linnea Halmarstrom, beating her 2-1 in a very tough contest. Back to our match now. Jasmine Ushan, 1 apiece, will be looking to get something working from her break. The 9 threatened but didn't. A familiar sight of Fu getting out of her chair after the Jasmine break. I think in the post-match interview, win or lose, Jasmine will have something to say about that. Oh, Fu, that's a misjudgment. It is early in this third rack. Might not be as costly as some mishaps have been in this match so far. But you never know. Jasmine may fancy taking this on. It may look quite a big side pocket for her here. It is available to the top right. Decisions. I think she called her extension. Wow. Full-blooded. The pace kept it out. One ball has run safe on the short rail. What can Fu do here? She's played the delicate one, looking to bring the 6 into play. Hasn't worked. And what can Jasmine achieve here? If she can see the right-hand side of the 1 ball, there are good options to bring the cue ball down. 4 balls at the bottom of the table to aim for, but if not, it's going to be a slightly more difficult safety shot. The high side of the 1. May have full ball cover there, but the long rail looming large. I don't think she's made an insurance call. Didn't need to. Was never in danger of going near a pocket. I say insurance because in this 10-ball format, if she were to pot a ball and didn't call it, well, it would flip over to the opponent and they have the opportunity to take it on, but if it's run into trouble, they'll give it you back. Oh, that was a very, very delicate shot to play. Very high percentage of difficulty. Swerve, but not swerving too much, and trying to take as much spin out of the ball so it doesn't run off that short rail. It's not worked out for Jasmine. Gets the bounce. Well, so far so good. That 7-ball is not available, as you can see, to the bottom left. So Fu will need to come down the left side of it if she wants to pot it clean. Otherwise, the combination may be her only option. But looking good here. Nice angle on the 4. Wants to come back out towards centre table. Now key shot coming up here. Wants to put herself in prime position on this 6-ball so that she can bring that cue ball. Long rail, I would imagine, to bring it down the bottom left quadrant of the table for the 7. Thumps it in. I think she's got a bit too much out of that, has she? No. Well done, Fu. Now, as you can see where the tip of her cue is, anywhere there, but not really much further, Fu. There's a corner pocket down there. Didn't threaten the corner pocket. Has left that desired angle, if maybe slightly bit more than what she was hoping for. great shot. Great, you'd say recovery shot. That was played perfect. And now Fu just wants to get that cue ball in the best spot so that she can efficiently bring the cue ball back up for the 10. Wonder if there'll be any flashbacks to the scratch on that 10 earlier in the opening set. I don't think she should threaten it here, but with how far that cue ball's gone up the table, she's going to be stretching for this. I don't think she can lean over, can she? Okay, level of difficulty has just increased somewhat. What a great shot with the extension. You have to say she's made that look easy. That was by no mean feat an easy shot. And this 10 gets Xiaofang Fu back in the lead. She just needs to win this set to take the match. Jasmine Ushan is going to need this and the next. So it's definitely advantage Fu. But if there's something that we've all come to know from Jasmine, these Pro Billiard Series events and on the circuit, she will not give up without a fight. And over on our other tables, Chu Chin Wei, who took a 1-set lead over Maria Teresa Ropera Garcia. Well, they're locked at 2 apiece in their second set. Che Yu Chao seems to be flying at the moment. Currently leading 2-0 in their second set, leading 1-0 against Xu Qing Qiang. Back to our table. Fu, who has certainly been delivering better in the break department, now gets to the table leading 2-1 in this second set. She'll be eager to get to the hill first. Whoa. One ball was tracking towards the side pocket, wasn't to be. 2 ball had a real good wipe of its feet in the top left corner. However, went back out for a walk, and this is now not a bad opportunity for Jasmine as we get the break stats up. A rare dry break for Xiaofang Fu, you have to say. And this, on the rare occasion as well, gives Jasmine a very nice look at the 1-2. And a quick lap of the table from Jasmine just to survey what else is out there would probably lead her to think that aside of that 7 perhaps, everything's looking kind of nice. Pretty straight on the 3, just a very short drawback for the 4 in the same pocket. Now, what are you thinking, Jasmine, for the 6-7? She'll be thinking 3-4 shots ahead here. The 7 may pass underneath the 8. In fact, from here, I would suggest it does. That changes things ever so slightly. Needs to travel. Needs to travel. She felt that coming underneath the 6 for the side pocket was the most fruitful, but that cue ball needed to kick along a little bit further. Now, as you can see from Jasmine, looking at the angle from this left side to pop the 7 into the top right. 2 options here to try and play this very gentle and take the long 7 on. Bring the cue ball round 3 rails. And coming across the potting line, where if you do hit that too hard, that 9 ball could hamper her shot. So let's see what Jasmine is going for. She's gone for the 3 rail. Really good pace. Or is it? Just slows up. It just slows up. And that is a very fine cut. It looked like after it picked up the last rail that she would have been left with a slightly less acute shot on this 7. So looking at her aiming there, this will be a safe. Super thin, needs the 9 and 8 to block it ideally. It hasn't. Ooh. So on the second occasion, Jasmine running away with it, and just a little mishap has taken away her opportunity to close it out at that visit. Both players just not finding that cover yet. So just playing safe, no insurance calls needed. Once the full ball cover, isn't going to get it. Isn't going to get it, and this might be, dare I say, a slightly easier opportunity for Fu to try and put Jasmine in safe, but with this much distance between the 2 balls, does keep it tricky. This time has avoided contact on the 8. Tried playing a similar shot earlier in the match where she collided with the 10 and left Jasmine in. This time maybe a small turn in this rack. Oh, that nudge on the 9 has worked a treat. Jasmine played a very creative jump shot there. I believe she was just trying to take some energy out of that 7 with the 10. The 7 completely missed the 10 and came back up the table and was threatening to sell out. But then it bumped the 9 onto the cue ball, which leaves Fu with this 1 rail escape. Not many opportunities to get it safe. I would suggest coming into it with a bit of power and definitely calling a pocket just in case. Which she has done. Top right's the call, but wanting to get distance between the 2 after contact on the 7, of course. Gosh, she whipped her hand out of the way there as quick as you could say it, but made contact with the 9 and not the 7, and the 9 was dropped, which is 1 less ball for Jasmine to worry about. Now a great opportunity, Jasmine, to get this scoreline back to level. She's got to win this set to get us through to a deciding set. And this is the best possible route to it so far. 8-10. Very nice indeed. This keeps her match hopes alive. I did mention it's double elimination and we are in the winner's bracket, so the loser of this match will move over to the loser's qualification to have a second bite of the cherry. But I can tell you now, both these players will be looking to put their both feet into the last 16 without going that route. And coming up on this table half an hour from now, we hope, unless this match goes on, we have the men's last 32 in the Billard Beckmann Men's Open. On this table, we'll have an all-Austrian matchup. Max Lechner taking on Mario Hay. And over on table one, well, what a formidable match there as well. Joshua Filler taking on Francesco Sanchez Ruiz. And then gentlemen will be looking for a place in the last 16. Following on from that, at 8 p.m, we get underway with more Predator Mixed Doubles Open action. I had the pleasure of commentating on one of the first round matches, which went all the way, and it was one of the most exciting matches so far this week here in Austria. This one's shaping up to get quite exciting, especially if Jasmine can take this to a third. She's back onto this side of the table for her break. Needs to get reward. She's due it by now. Well, she gave it an absolute thump. Returns back to her chair thinking, what have I got to do to make a ball on this break? But Fu doesn't have a look at this one. So very likely she's going to push and give the opportunity for Jasmine to get back to the table. She calls the push. And she's left a bigger chunk of the one, possibly even full ball. And if so, there may be an opportunity for Jasmine to freeze the cue ball off this one, maybe even shuffle up back towards the 6, but where the cue ball is next to the cushion, it's a very difficult shot to take on. In fact, I'm not even sure there is full ball view of this one. So we will get to see what Fu had in mind. She had a good look, and that's where she wanted to push to. Oh, wow. Did she call that? I don't think she did. Would have been a great insurance call, because she did end up with shape on the 2. Jasmine having a very good look at the 3. It's in a very tricky spot where it is, where the 7 is. And to bring the cue ball back to look to play a safe from underneath it would mean putting in a massive shot on this 2 ball. May not be enough value to go for it. Wouldn't put it past Jasmine to look to get good cue ball. I think she's going for this. she wasn't. Clearly that 3 was not available, and what a shot she's put in there. I would say she's put all of her focus on the cue ball, but she did get good 2 as well. This is a tricky one. What a shot, and what a time to pull it off. Oh, with the shot clock running, that gets a tap from Jasmine. 2 rails. And not a bad leave either. Whoa. I'm sure that one will make the highlight reel. Jasmine back to the table. Still somewhat in control, you'd have to say. Needed to be softer. Jasmine was playing for that contact on the 5 to guarantee where she knew that cue ball was going to sit. But just a little bit too hard. It's brought the 2 ball up. I'm not sure there's value in going for this. That 3 ball still is tricky, even though after the fantastic safety from Jasmine, 3 is still a little tricky with that 7 so close. Oh, my. Fantastic shot from Fu. May have a rail first still available. Good things can come from this. But what a great opening shot as well. Petrovas standing by to take a good look at this. It's a good pot. She's played that gently to try and give the best opportunity to still leave this 4 available to the top left. It's thin, but it is available. Is this the time to pull the trigger and get Fu on the hill first to really ask the big questions of Jasmine? She's made it. The 5 doesn't pass the 7, so she's got to come underneath it. Job done. And, dare I say, she's left herself a peach of an angle to develop the 6 if she wants to. This could be one of the clearances of the match so far. Well, I don't want to take anything away from Jasmine's break and run earlier in this match, and a timely one it was. But so far, without tempting fate, Fu has picked these apart fantastically. Well, this 10 ball to put away what was a very difficult clearance with problems that needed resolving. Amazing shot into the side pocket to get us started. And I will tip my hat to Zhao Fangfu. What a fantastic way to get herself on the hill in this second set. It really did look like Jasmine had done enough to just keep momentum in her direction. However, it wasn't to be. And now we will see Zhao Fangfu up to break, potentially for the match. As you can see, the ball's pocketed. Zhao Fangfu nearly double Jasmine's account. The scoreline is close though, so it just goes to show sometimes the statistics don't necessarily reveal the full scale of the operation, but for me, I have a very big soft spot for the statistics. Now, I want to bring you some updates on the scores, but I am absolutely fixated. We'll have a quick look over at Christina Tkach match. Han Yu is 3-2 up in the second set there. Christina Tkach taking the opener. Han Yu looking to take that to a deciding set. Over here, well, Jasmine needs to get back to the table to have a chance. Zhao Fangfu looking to not dry break here. Dry break we have, ladies and gentlemen. Another twist in this second set. Not a good opener for Jasmine on the one, but she's back to the table and she has the opportunity to take control. I have to say, the contact that Fu makes, it does look like it's throwing that one ball towards the side pocket, but always it seems to get a nudge before it gets anywhere close. I feel Jasmine could play off the top of this one ball and not worry about the side pocket. But it looks like she's going the other way. Needs the 4 to cover. Could very well have got that. Fu bringing her jump stick with her just in case. Wisely so, as it looks like that's what she's going to employ here. She's called it into the top left. I would hazard to say that she's looking to play the one off the 5, and hence calling that corner pocket. Certainly possible. Certainly possible. What a jump shot. That's exactly what she was going for, and has she been rewarded with shape on the 2? She's dancing around the arena right now. I'm not too convinced, but what a great shot. Be very unfortunate. And she has been unfortunate. But has responded with quite a clever shot there. Always the danger of double kissing, both the cue ball and object ball playing to look to try and bring distance between the two. She's played that delightfully well. Small opportunity for the bank, perhaps? I'm wondering if that's what Jasmine was just thinking as she winced. But at the table, you always fancy Jasmine has a chance. Just needs to pick this one to take it to a decider. Yeah. Maybe could have done with playing that a little harder. Can't help but feel that a very thin edge off this 2 ball could promote the cue ball tracking down somewhere where that 10 ball is. Maybe even around 2 rails to come up behind it. Good things can come. Opted for good cue ball at the top of the table. Not too bad, however. The lucky that Jasmine has got on this 2. It's on to the bottom left corner. I'm not too sure if she can see enough of the 2 to play it up and down the table. Because if there was, she may be able to get the cue ball behind the 9, but it looks like she's taking this on to the bottom left. Oh, Jasmine. Not the intended result. And ball in hand to Fu. Still not a foregone conclusion out there at the table, but ball in hand certainly brings more of an advantage to Fu. And that will work very nicely. Doesn't need too much here for the 4. Wants to ensure she's got enough angle to bring the cue ball back out for the 5 into the top right. If so, this could be her moment to take the match and prevent Jasmine from taking this to a hill-hill decider in the second set. That will work. And let me just give you some news hot off the press. Hanyu did win that second set. So her match with Christina Tkach over on table 1 is going to a third set decider. Xiao Fanfu looking to avoid that possibility here at this visit. Great shot. As you could see from the overhead, that 6 is not available to the bottom left pocket, which would have been the side Fu was coming down. So she's played it through a bit further to make it available for the side pocket. She's been making some fantastic clearances amongst the balls in open play. Jasmine too, as we saw in the opening set, it went so close. This looks like being another one to add to her bow. So we are in the winners' qualification. This will be a place in the last 32 in the money. The loser will move through to the losers' qualification and will have a second opportunity to get to the last 16. When I say that, a little swipe of the stick. Cue ball just not coming over far enough for Fu's liking. Still very makeable 9. We have seen a small mistake from Fu at the closing stages of AeroRack, scratching the cue ball unnecessarily. Oh my, Jasmine will come back to the table after that disappointing miss, but with nothing on the 9. Can she get underneath it? That would be her preferred route. kick and stick here with that cue ball frozen behind the 10, and we could have a big flip in this 6th rack. Oh, and a well-deserved round of applause from the crowd. What a crucial stage in this match. How about that for composure from the Austrian? Insurance call from Fu, top left pocket. Contact on the 9, first and foremost. Anything else, a bonus. No. And another twist in this 2nd set. Ball in hand for Jasmine, just 2 balls needed. And it will take us to a hill decider in this 2nd set. You have to think, after the position that Fu left Jasmine in, she was really up against it. But what a kick and stick. Full credit, Jasmine will come to the table to break in this hill 2nd set. Must-win set for her. The updated statistics coming in. We'll have a good butchers at that right now. Jasmine holding consistent around the 750 mark. Johann Fu sitting pretty, really getting the majority of not only the table time, but also break success. And that's been the main difference for me. However, it all comes down to the score on the occasion and who gets that chance at that time. Will this match be going to a 3rd set? That is the question, and that is the answer we are about to get. Quick note on our other table 3 match. We're missing it all. Pia Filler has brought the scoreline back to 1 set apiece, and they are now locked at 2-2 in their deciding set. My word, this is just winners qualification. Got 4 more days of action to come, people. Following on from here today, we still have men's 32 action. And at 8 p.m, we have the Predator Mixed Doubles Open. Jasmine Ushan to break. 2nd set trailing 1-0. 3-3 on the hill. Well, I didn't hear a scream of joy from Jasmine, but that will be the 1 ball pocketed off the break. No open shot for the 2, so very likely playing safe here, but if this does go to a 3rd deciding set, it looks like Jasmine's just starting to get the break working well. Let's hope it's not too little, too late. What is she going to put Fu into here? Okay, 2-way shot. Playing the 2 around the 8 for the side pocket. That was the insurance. What good control of the cue ball. She did this in the last rack to good effect with a kick and stick. She's done the same again in this deciding rack, putting Fu in a real tricky spot. Should be able to come around the 8 if she can see enough of that long rail. played that in such a way that she's not given Jasmine a good look on this 2-ball. But another great escape from the Chinese player. Jasmine locking her up very tight again. She's having a look at the pawning angle down to the top left. Looking just to run through over towards the long rail. Decided to go on the offense to great effect. Doesn't want to finish straight on this 3, especially with the cue ball landing so close to the side rail. Had enough angle. However, this is still quite thin on the 4, and the 5 doesn't sit in the open. So still a bit of work to do here for Jasmine to stay on the offense. And while she's considering that, a couple of results already in. Che-Yu Chao has bested Xiao Qing Chang 2-0 in their match, and Chu Chin Wei has beaten Maria Teresa Ropero Garcia in straight sets 2-0. We have 2 more results as well. I'll come on to them in a moment. Just looking at what Jasmine's left on the 5. She really looks like staying on the offense here. Recognizes this is the moment. Very nice, avoiding the corner pocket. Gliding it in. Looking to push the cue ball up now into a spot to take the 7 on. I mentioned the results, 2 other results in. Chao Hua Chen has beaten Kelly Fisher 2-0. And So Soa has beaten Wan Ling Wang in straight sets 2-0. The losers in all of these matches will move over to losers qualification, as this is double elimination. If you want to find out the fixtures and who's through to what round, please do visit ProBilliardSeries.com. You'll find a link on the Pro Billiard TV page. Go and check that out. And also have a look at the live statistics while you're there. Nicely done. Didn't pick up any of the 9 to take energy out of the cue ball. What an important turnaround in the second set. Fu having an opportunity to close it out. However, now Jasmine Ushan looking to take this to a 3rd and deciding set. Also looking to muddy the waters with our schedule of play, as we were hoping the men's would be kicking off about now. That's not going to be. No concern to these 2 ladies. And here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, Jasmine Ushan to dig deep and to really grind it to a 3rd and deciding set. And a great ripple of applause. Maybe slight favourite due to the home crowd. But we will go to a 3rd set decider. To both players with a big breath. They will be back very shortly as we just show you a bit of coverage from our other table matchup between Christina Tkach and Han Yu. And I will be back very shortly to join you for the start of this third and deciding set. Don't go anywhere, viewers. I'll be back with you very shortly. And a very warm welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the culmination of this Billiards Corinho Winners Open Winners Qualification matchup between Jasmine Ushan and Johann Fu. And wow, I did mention during the introduction that we have been privileged with some absolute corking matches on table 2. This one is certainly up there and has the makings of being a real classic. What a battle between these two. Johann Fu taking the opener hit on the hill decider 4-3. Jasmine Ushan battling back from 3-2 down to taking the second. And we will get this third and final set kicked off. My name is Gethin Davis, bringing you the action solo. And I hope you're all ready for this. Jasmine, just at the end of the last set, got a ball off the break until then, has been dry. Has that period finished? No, I'm afraid to say it hasn't. And Fu out of her chair. That one ball, I believe, is available. And yeah, just to add to the summary of the match so far, both players have looked absolutely formidable in open play. Jasmine, I would dare to say, during the second set, started to get the better of the safety play. But definitely in the breaking department, you'd have to say Fu with the advantage. Now, look at that cue ball. The 8 may hamper her queuing here. Not too much needed doing off the 2. She's able to get to the cue ball without being hampered. That makes this a lot easier. Both our Table 1 and Table 2 matches are going to a third and deciding set. Our match on Table 3 did go to a third and deciding set, and Pia Filler, after trailing 1-0, has won the next 2 sets to take that match and progress through to the last 16. So congratulations to Pia. Left herself the right angle to come back out for the 6. That 8 very much hampering the ideal position. And putting this 5, it does make the 7 available to the bottom right pocket if she is indeed worried about getting position low on the 7. She could go at the top of the table. She's played to come around the 8. She has done. What a shot. That was brave. I didn't know if it was worth the risk, but clearly Fu, fully aware of her remit, and she's just run off the bottom of the screen. Her extension was back with her bag rather than next to her at the table. Doesn't want to come high of the 9. The bow of the head would suggest. Oh. Just checking now to see if there's any room above that side pocket on the long rail. There isn't. And I'm just wondering, that cue ball's quite far up the table to take on the jump. May not be physically available for her. And with the shot clock ticking, that's ball in hand to Jasmine. We've seen a couple of those from Fu. And this, you would expect to be a point on the board first for Jasmine now in this third set, especially after Fu has put all the hard work in to get to this point. This 10 for Jasmine Ushan to take the lead in this third and deciding set, and has put herself in the driver's seat. She will be back to the table with the break. As mentioned on a few occasions, her break not necessarily going her way in this match, but that's not really mattered when it's come to the scoreline. She's dug deep. Let's have a little look to see if there are any more results in. No, there isn't. Savannah Easton is in a 1-set apiece thriller with Chihiro Kawahara. Chihiro in that deciding set leading 2-1. And over on the other TV table. Christina to catch is at 1-1 with Han Yu, with the sets also being one apiece. Over on this table, Jasmine taking the early lead. So far, Fu getting to the table more often than not from Jasmine's break. How about that? Okay, not necessarily the best spread of the balls, but made a ball, got shape on the 2. 3-7 combination if offense is the plan. I'll have a closer look at the 6 and the 8 in a moment. But this isn't a straightforward run out for Jasmine here, but she'd ideally like to take it to Fu. Not immediately obvious if the 6 passes the 8 into the bottom left. It looks like it should, but where the 5 ball is, there is always the opportunity to play underneath. Played that nicely. She wants to develop the 9-6-8 cluster. She could look to do it off the 4, but that does put most of her eggs in one basket to get shape on the 5. She certainly has the angle to do it. She's had a good look. If she runs into them, all she'll be wanting is position on this 5. She didn't, she avoided them completely. That would suggest the 6 does pass into this bottom left. It has to now because of the angle she's got on the 5. She can't stay low on it. Oh, I don't think it does. I think Jasmine is looking at how she can play safe off the 6. Will Fu get back to the table? This would suggest that she may. Is the bank the call? The bank is on, but the safety at this stage of the match, you would have to feel, is the order of the day. She can even use the 9 as a bit of a blocker to take the energy out of the cue ball. Just focus on putting that green 6 onto the center diamond on the bottom short rail. Using all the time, important to do so. This is a very crux point, be very useful to get to 2-0 in this deciding set. Bank has been called. That's a bit of insurance you have to feel. She may go for it, but also look to keep the cue ball locked. That's what she's done. And didn't make the bank. Didn't get cover on the 6. Very thin cut on the 6. If the potting angle is visible. All about the cue ball. All about the cue ball. And that's come in a bit hot and bounced out enough to make the window for the 6. Just a ball roll too far for Fu there. That looks quite straight, but that won't bother Jasmine here. Around the angles, looking to put the 9 in the same bottom left corner pocket. Cue ball's travelling nicely up the table. Perfect position to draw off the long rail back for the 10. This is looking very promising for Jasmine here. Beautifully done. Wasn't the easiest of opportunities, but Jasmine on the offense is taking it very well. She extends the lead in this decisive third set to 2-0. A few more people joining the crowd, quite rightly so. This has been one hell of a match so far, and it doesn't seem like it's slowing down at all. Quick look out at the other two matches in play. Well, Chihiro Kawahara of Japan is now 3-1 up on Savannah Eastern, so asking some big questions of the Roadrunner in their deciding set. And over on our other table, Christina Tkach is now 2-1 up against Han Yu. Again, we're in the winners' qualification, so still double elimination in effect, and the losers of this, or these matches rather, will move through to the losers' qualifications, which take place tomorrow, I believe, in the morning. Jasmine, Johann to break, tied at 1 set apiece, but leading 2-0 in the third set. Stays at the table, and by all accounts, depending on how that 3-10 is situated, this is probably the best position Jasmine has found herself in off the break. We have had one break and run. Or have we? I need to double check my figures now. But this certainly looks opportunistic. I didn't see the look on her face when she considered the 3-10 cluster. Yeah, she's having a good look, so I would suggest that that 3 isn't available. May be an opportunity to try and aim to run into him here. As you can see from this angle, it's inconclusive as far as I'm concerned. This was the angle to try and just nudge into them. Oh! Missed it by a hair. And now that has turned from a good opportunity into a very difficult escape, and Jasmine has called over Petrovas to have a close look at this. Oh, it looks tight coming underneath the fort. No, there was enough room and good solid contact on the 3. 3 run into the 7 though, so it's left it hanging out. If the potting angle is on, I was going to say Fu may be forced into taking this on. She's made some big shots in this match so far. Queuing over the 10 increases the difficulty. Just wants to be careful that there's no danger of the scratch. Yeah, she hit it hard to ensure that the scratch was never going to be a concern. Missed it by a margin. Very thin cut. If Jasmine were to take it on, I don't think so. Just a little glance off the edge, looking to bring the 7 into play. That's been played very well. I don't think the edge has been leaked. Not a difficult escape to play the 1 rail. Maybe an opportunity to go for the pot with a jump. That's what Fu's called. Well, a successful jump. How's the result? As the 7 come to spoil the party. I think it has somewhat. It's a bit of work for Jasmine to do here to keep the advantage. Fu just looking for that 1 opening to start bringing this 3rd set back towards herself. Ooh. That contact on the 8 is not good enough, as you can see from this angle. The corner pocket available for the 3. 6 has just had the 8 nudge up towards it. Four to the 6 key shot here. Oh, I'm not sure where she was playing for the cue ball there. I'm guessing it passed the 7 into the top right. She may still take this on. I think she has. It was like she was Babe Ruth calling the home run there, pointing the arm out. Wasn't far away from sliding past the 7. It's not worked out. And, well, this 3rd set is starting to become a struggle for Fu. Jasmine couldn't be in better position to take this third rack, but at this stage of the match, there will be a few nerves out there. You see in the background, a lot of knees out there. It's really warming up here deep in the Austrian Alps. Absolutely stunning weather. And inside the arena, it's warming up on the table as well very nicely. As I mentioned, we're only on day 4. 4 more days of action to come. And even then we have a day's break and we move straight into the Austrian Euro Tour. Also being held from this location. Lots of pool to come. And for some reason, I have just been getting the most marvellous matches on table 2. This one has me glued. So this 10 to provide us with a complete contrast to the match so far and bring Jasmine Ushan onto the hill in this third deciding set in very convincing style. What has been such a close contest so far, with Fu winning the first set 4-3, Jasmine winning the second 4-3. This one has just seemed to have come to her that bit better. And that will be down to the break working a bit better. And also a couple of mistakes from Fu in position more than anything else. But drove us to the table to rack them up. Let's have a quick look at the remaining matches. Chihiro Kawahara was able to best Savannah Roadrunner Eastern 2-1. And over on our other table, Han Yu is now on the hill. 3-2 she leads Christina to catch in that third decisive set. Over here, a little bit of a different story. Jasmine probably a bit more comfortable in her seat, staring down the barrel of a 3-0 lead. Fu now very much up against it. Making the 1 again. Whatever Jasmine has changed, it's now working. However, look at that 3. There is no shot on the 3. So it's not going to be from this visit, Jasmine. And will there be a chance for Fu just to start to eke herself back into this third set? You understand the grit and determination out there. $90,000 in the prize pool, $27,000 for first place. Just getting through this winner's qualification match will guarantee you $1,970. And the prize money really a testament to Predator and the Pro Billiard Series team, also our sponsors. I do believe I took a note yesterday from our dear colleague George Teachea. I'll stand corrected if I've got this wrong, but through this Predator Pro Billiard Series of events for 2026, the total prize pot comes to $3.6 million. That That is a magnificent figure for the pool of sport, and it brings the best players to our events. Following on from here in Austria, we move over to Rome. And we still have a few more to go after that. Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam in September. And then at the end of September, we're over to Bali, Indonesia. I'm sure the players will be enjoying it over there. And then we return to America in November, San Antonio in Texas, the end of November, and Jacksonville just before Christmas to finish off 2026 in style. Now, back to the action. Fu calling the bank shot on the 3. It's heading in that direction. Oh, it's caught the knuckle first, and the insurance of getting cover with the cue ball is not there. The bank was ambitious, but if she felt there was cover to be had, it looks like she went full-blooded just to hold for the 4. If any of our viewers are tuning in, looking forward to the Billard Beckmann men's kicking off. It was due to kick off at 5 o'clock 30 minutes ago. As you can tell, it's not happening yet. In fact, I believe the matches have been moved to another table, so we will return after this match at 8 o'clock for the Mixed Doubles Open. Now, opportunity for Jasmine to keep Fu in her chair, but it was a difficult shot to get round for the 4. She's collided with the 7 and potted it. And she just had a sneaky look to see if it passes the 5 into the top left. Ten seconds on the clock. Okay, playing it safe. If the 4 had just taken a chunk of the 10, it may have been a bit friendlier. I'm not sure the potting angle is on here. Judged very nicely. And really, that is what's needed from Fu now. No slip-ups. Must-win situation for her. Jasmine looking at the 1 rail escape across the table. Good thick contact, didn't sell out. Part 1 complete. Now, can Fu lock Jasmine up a bit tighter? Well, it's not tight in the sense of having the cue ball against an object ball, and more importantly, it wasn't a legal shot. And Xiaofang Fu calls the foul. Jasmine out of a chair for ball in hand. Don't think the option to pot this 4 is on, or is it? Is there enough gap? Well, there was. And that has worked out very nicely. I don't think the 8's going to hamper Jasmine here either. You have to feel good shape from the 6 to 8. And this will be up there with one of Jasmine's greatest performances in the sense of being up against it after losing the opening set. Fu really not doing much wrong. It's been all Jasmine though in this third set so far. And that is the right side of the 8. Not much needed doing here. Ooh, a bit of an exhale from Jasmine there. She'll recognise how tough she's been up against it. Her breaks have not worked necessarily for her. There was every reason for Fu, who was getting the better of the breaks, to push on after the first set. But Jasmine, unfazed, and even at 3-2 down in the second set, has just come out firing. This will be for 6 racks in a row, but more importantly, for a place in the last 16. Jasmine Ushan with a clench of the fists. Very well deserved. Both players performing great. But Jasmine really turning it on in the last set there. As we bring the statistics up, I'll give you a little update. Han Yu was able to complete the third and deciding set against Christina to catch. So Christina and Fu will move over to the losers bracket and we'll have a second opportunity at this. As I mentioned, the men's match will not be taking place now, so we'll be pushing through to 8 p.m. and we will continue with Predator mixed doubles and set that alarm for 8 p.m. and I was just checking to see if there was any update on if the men's matches were coming back. There isn't. And so a big thank you to you all for joining us. I hope you really did enjoy that thriller. And please do set your notifications to be back here for 8 p.m. And also while you're there, please do click like, share and subscribe on the Pro Billiard TV feed. We really do appreciate your support. It helps us to bring you this live action. My name's Gethin Davis. We'll see you back here at 8 p.m. Thanks for joining us.